We're following more breaking news this afternoon. The man arrested in connection with the death of a Lawrence mother of two is being held without bail a day after her body was found in Haverhill. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Courtney Cole. 35-year-old Christian Montero has not been charged in the death of 37-year-old Carol Flas Burgos. At this hour, he's only being charged with witness tampering, though the DA expects the charges to be upgraded to murder. Burgos had been last seen and been reported missing since Saturday, when police say she was last seen alive on Broadway Street in Lawrence. Her body was found 10 miles away at a nature reserve in Haverhill. Prosecutors say Montero and Burgos lived in the same apartment building. And in court today, prosecutors laid out how tracking Burgos' location through her cell phone is what led investigators to her body.
Lawrence police reviewed video surveillance footage from 509 Broadway. When they reviewed the video surveillance footage, they observed Ms. Burgos to be leaving her apartment, unit 401, and walking to apartment 405. Apartment 405 is the apartment registered to the defendant before the court, Mr. Christian Montero. They did, however, observe about 2 hours later, the defendant, Christian Montero, to be leaving the apartment complex with a wagon, a beach cart that appeared to be filled with clothes. This is important to note because the officers in this investigation were able to collect the data from Ms. Burgos' cell phone. And when they observed her cell phone, it was at this time that her phone began to move away from the apartment building of 590 Broadway. The cell phone data then shows that the phone starts to move towards Haverhill, Massachusetts.
And that's where police discovered Burgos' body yesterday. Prosecutors say Montero's alibi did not match what he told officers. He's being held without bail. This is pending a dangerousness hearing as well as a probable cause hearing. Also breaking this afternoon, Governor Maura Healey has appointed a new head of the Massachusetts State Police. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Nobel will now be the new colonel for the Massachusetts State Police, replacing interim Colonel Jack Mon, who sent a statement to our newsroom congratulating Nobel on his appointment. We're still learning more about Colonel Nobel, and we'll have details on WBZ News starting at 5 o'clock. Now to a look at some of the top stories we're following for you today on WBZ News starting at 5.
I'm Beth Germano in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, with a long line of Kamala Harris supporters behind me getting ready to board shuttle buses for her visit today, where she is expected to outline some economic policies, including tax breaks for small businesses. New Hampshire may only have 4 electoral votes and is not considered a battleground state this time around. But those who are here today tell me she should not take the Granite State for granted.
With the risk of EEE increasing throughout communities in Massachusetts, public school systems are making tough decisions to protect their students. Here in Middleborough, today is the first day of school, and the school system just announced that they're taking precautions with their student athletes and students involved in after-school activities. Those precautions include allowing practices and games after school when the sun is up and getting those student athletes off the field by the time the sun sets. That's because during that sunset hour is when mosquitoes tend to be the most prevalent. So this is going to affect several student athletes, including the football team. Of course, Friday Night Lights is what football players and their families love to see. Again, those games are not going to be off the schedule, but they will happen earlier in the day. The administration here in Middleborough saying they're doing it to protect not only the students, but their families, the faculty, and the entire Middleborough community. A decision made easier knowing they're not alone. Several communities in our area have changed their outdoor activity rules. They've implemented similar rules, including places like Plymouth. So this decision kind of being made community-wide here in this part of Massachusetts, again, just to protect young people here in town. Now, today, again, the first day of school, students, teachers really excited to be back. This hanging over their head a bit, but the administration is hoping that they can go back to normal as soon as that first frost hits or things change with that risk to EEE. We'll talk about all this coming up on WBZ.
3, 2. I'm Christina Rex here outside the courthouse in Lawrence, and today we're learning more details about what might have been the final moments of Carol Flaws Burgos' life. Now, she's the 37-year-old Lawrence mother who'd been missing for a number of days. Her body was found in the woods in Haverhill late Tuesday night. And at the arraignment of the man who police believe had a part in killing her, prosecutors detailed that she had left her wallet, her keys, her phone on her counter, had walked over to his apartment as they were neighbors living on the same hallway, texting, made the sign of the cross, then walked inside, never to be seen again. They also tell us on surveillance they saw him wheeling out what appeared to be a large wagon, a beach wagon, full of clothes. However, that man, 35-year-old Christian Montero, is not yet facing any murder charges.
And we turn now from our stories of the day to a look out over the city of Boston here. When we talk about a picture-perfect day here in the city, this is what we're talking about. Let's see how many more days we're going to have just like this, and get you over to next weather meteorologist Jason Mikell.
All right, friends, we're doing it yet again. Another day of beautiful blue skies and a lot of sunshine as well. And in fact, the balmy conditions that we have outside are really sort of pulling themselves up from the 40s and 50s that we had earlier today. We're still dealing with some of the 40s as we head towards midday today. And even into the early afternoon, most locations will easily be in the 60s, with a lot of locations enjoying some of the mid to low 70s as well. Bear in mind, for outdoor play today, our allergens are also going to be developing and also running fairly high. We're still in peak season as far as ragweed is concerned, and even sagebrush and also nettle are running a little bit higher as well. Moderate levels to higher levels in terms of our allergens today. We're going to be noticeably dry, at least over the next several days here. So that's also going to equate to some brush and maybe some fire risks for us once we get into about Friday of this upcoming week here. So we're talking about clearing skies overnight tonight, much in the way of some of the 50s and 40s will also be developing overnight, waking up for us on Wednesday morning. We'll talk about the rest of our forecast and also the tropics coming up in just a few. Back to you.